Hi, today April 5 we're here gathered to discuss and come to an agreement on the European Union petition to impose long-term tariffs on footwear coming from Vietnam and China. At the end of the debate, the World Trade Organization will come to an agreement. First, we will hear the Trade Minister from the European Union, Ms. Juarez. You may proceed.
Faced with the overwhelming flow of low-cost Asian shoes into Europe that have been affecting severely our southern shoe industry, we're completely sure that China has been doing dumping in their shoe industry, which is a completely anti-competitive behavior in the world trade.
Ms. Trade Minister of the European Union, have you realized the strong accusations you're making? I hope you have some appropriate evidence that validates these declarations, or else you could be accused of defamation. Additionally, you have claimed that the Asian shoe exportation has been affecting severely the southern shoe industry. However, have you thought about what this Chinese industry has done to the Northern European Union?
Alright, now we'll hear the representative of the European Union manufacturers' opinion. First, we'll hear non-European countries' seller. Ms. Chaverra, you may proceed.
The North European Union countries are retailers of Chinese and Vietnamese footwear. As this activity is essential for these countries' economies, if drastic trade barriers are imposed on these imports, the economies of these countries will be affected in a very important way.
Many European countries are against the imposition of tariffs. May you explain why?
For the Northern European Union sellers, it is necessary to buy the cheapest as possible these products in order to obtain the profit needed for these industries and economies to succeed. If these long-term tariffs are imposed on, the price of Asian shoes will increase in a drastic way, possibly causing many problems in the industries. This is for the reason that many people depend on the retails in order to survive and subsist. As well, if this industry gets affected by these tariffs, many of the workers from these industries will lose their jobs. So, if this protectionism method is imposed, it will possibly lead in the future to drastic consequences in the whole economies.
Now we will hear South European countries' representative. You may proceed.
One of the main sources of income of the countries in the southern part of the European Union is the manufacture of footwear, specifically leather footwear. And as a result of the every time cheaper and cheaper Chinese and Vietnamese shoe exports, the industry is having trouble to remain profitable. If this trend continues and China and Vietnam and all these countries continue to export this very cheap footwear, many factories could close and the employees and many people will be fired from their job as the industry is having trouble to remain profitable enough for maintaining the high labor force. This is why, as a South European Union manufacturer, tariffs should be imposed over at least the leather footwear. This so to protect all the jobs this industry has and for keeping the industry profitable enough to continue operating.
What an interesting contrast between North and South opinions. But now I want to hear what Chinese manufacturers have to say.
China's manufacturing sector is the core of China's economy and economic growth. Despite the fact that our work conditions are the greatest, it is still the job of thousands of workers in China. And if you decide to impose these tariffs over China's leather shoes, this will inevitably result in many people losing their jobs because of the necessity of reducing costs. In addition, China isn't dumping. The only reason why our manufacturers produce more than South Europe is because we reduce a lot of costs by doing sacrifices that they wouldn't do.
If I may, let me stress the fact that Asian shoes exportations indeed have a low price. However, that is a result of reducing production costs, not dumping as claimed by the European Union Trade Minister. And as a matter of fact, these low costs have encouraged these products' consumption and boosted some of Northern European countries' industries.
Excuse me, officer. I would like to clarify that the European Union is looking at every country benefit in this case. Regardless that the northern countries are being benefited from the situation, it has been extremely hurtful for the southern ones. This is one of the reasons why we chose to report this case of an anti-competitive behavior. Therefore, we decided to apply customs costs to the whole European Union. Additionally, we hope that with this report, China stops them.
After taking into consideration all your different points of view and declarations, and making the best decision for our community, I will proceed to read the verdict. The World Trade Organization denies.
I have just received the evidence that I need to prove that the Chinese government is indeed subsidizing and doing the anti-competitive behavior, dumping. I'm sending you these documents right now. As you can see, these numbers clearly show how China is doing unimaginable damage to the southern economies and shoe industry. As I have previously mentioned, as a representative of the European Union, we have come to the decision and we have done our opportunity cost to protect the southern countries by putting long-term customs costs on the shoes coming from China.
On consideration and hearing all of your statements, the World Trade Organization approves the European Union petition to impose long-term tariffs on footwear coming from China and Vietnam. China was using an anti-competitive behavior by dumping, making the South European countries' footwear industry no longer profitable and making them suffer long-term consequences.